when it comes down to those types of relationships, it's usually like just a clear understanding and knowing the issues that go on both sides, and then just fighting for those issues to be better and working on each other. And I think that's what we all kind of fail at doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy, man. She's like, yeah, you a grown ass dude. You just stuck on old girl. I mean, like I said, with me, it's just like, um, I'm at the point where it's like, I tried, man, and just gotta, you know, make sure it's over, because I know with her too, she used to always be like, when we would have these arguments, right, and she would cuss me out, and then I would hang up the phone on her. She would always
Mm.
call back, and she was like, ask for clarification. Like, she always wanted to talk and kind of like work things out, but it's just the words, the nasty words that I heard, just kind of like fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
I just couldn't deal with that. I was like, well, how could somebody who loves me so much say evil shit like, you know, I hate you, go to hell, and all of this. You're not really considering like what actually led up to those arguments, So um, once I kind of like realized all of that, then I was like, well, then what we need to do, like going back to that whole fighting thing, what we need to do is just make sure that before we get to that particular level, we need to calm ourselves down and just talk to the other person and just let the other person know, hey, you glitching out, and you know, it just never happened. And then certain things too that I've done, because you have to be a leader in a relationship, right? So certain things that I've done, um, not cheating or anything like that. It's just like maybe more like time consuming. And my intentions in regards to doing some of those things she didn't agree with, or even when I told her, it was like she, didn't believe me in the aftermath, you know. So it was that, and then ultimately that whole shit, with the you know, the whole text message thing. So basically, like when we did that training, right? You know what I'm saying? When we did that training and shit, you know, you saw all of this shit. I told you everything that I was going through, even before, like, everybody was like, oh, let's, meet up and, go out and kick it and all of that shit. And, oh, I was like, man, you know, I was like, I needed to get, some of this shit off my mind and kind of like get clarification on a lot of things myself. So, it's not like I didn't tell her that shit. Meanwhile, she was showing interest in somebody else anyway, right? So,
Mm.
yeah, right? Only difference between her interest and my interest, or my potential interest, would have been, like mine's is here in Columbus, right?
Right.
Whereas, hers is like, across the country. So like that's the big difference. So and I was cool with the shit, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, we going through a little hurdle real quick, a little traction. So, I'll just kind of like just keep there and, talking with her and working things out, right? So with that being said, I was just being open and honest with her. So, just talking to her every day, and just understanding and learning her perspective on how she looked at a lot of the situations, and just making sure that as a man that would never happen again, right? So, but by that time, she had already just felt like certain things were already embedded in me. Basically, like this is just the type of person that I am. You know, not realizing that things change. Not only that, but people change. And in these scenarios, the things that we've gone through, it was like, yeah, I could see it, but she doesn't realize where the responses came from. Because even when she would scream and argue, I would be like, "Come on, let's talk, let's talk, let's talk." So it just never got there. So with all of that being said, when I sent them nasty text messages to you, right? right? When I sent those messages to you, um, I told you I sent it to the wrong person, and then I told you that I was going through, this crazy breakup, right? And then
Mhm.
I sent the same messages to her, and I let her know, like, hey, this is what's going on. So then she got upset and said that I never told you about her, and that's where it's gotten like really, really fucked up to the point where it's like you're a liar, you're a fucking liar, you fucking psycho, all of this, right? And I'm like, well, damn. Now she's giving me this ultimatum. Look, I'm never gonna fuck with you again if you lie to me, and I already know you never told her about me. So go ahead and just say it, so I don't have to fuck with you anymore. And I'm telling her, I'm like, I did, I did tell her about
Mhm.
you, you know. And with that being said, like if I was to lie and say that I didn't tell you about her, then the next thing you know, I wouldn't be fucking with her anymore anyway. So I got no choice but to stand on my square and say that, hey, I did. I did tell you about her. I did. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at, and it's like since she doesn't believe that, I'm like, there's nothing else that I could really do. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm looking at it like, you know, because you see the fight, like if you want, if you there's something that you want, you go and get it. But if there's a wall up, like there's nothing that you can really do. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it ain't that I'm stuck on her. Is the fact that you know I see that like there's this wall that she has up, for whatever reason, and I'm like, you know, taking this wall down and shit. Like, how do I even do it? Like, do I even have the right tools at this point? Like, is truth a tool to take down that wall? You know what I'm saying? Is someone like love and affection a tool to take down that wall? You know, to soothe her, would that even be a tool? You know what I'm saying? Or to just kind of
Mhm.
like stick around as the side man? Like, is that a fucking tool? And I'm asking you, like, is it a tool?
Truth.
Huh?
Um. I mean, kinda, but depends on in what way it's being used.
Oh yeah. But in this
Yeah. Because
situation,
some people,
hmm?
some people can use the truth to be vengeful. And it was supposed to be a kept secret between both of you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
So yeah, man. In this situation, it's like fuck it, man. And I know, she wants me to, you know, like continue to express the truth and shit. But if you're not gonna
Mhm.
believe it, then it's like fuck it. Like what can I do? You know what I'm saying? So like that morning when I went over there, and I was like, here she is right here. It's just like I don't want to talk to her. Y'all two talk, right? So I was
Who
like, all
said
right,
that?
huh?
Who said that?
She said it. Remember when
Oh.
we was at
Oh
the
yeah.
garden and I was
Mhm.
on the phone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. So
Okay.
yeah, I was like, cool. And then I kind of felt bad too for you at that point because it was like, here I am telling you about her, telling you about what the hell we went through and shit, and then you would kind of like change the conversation, and I kind of felt bad, out of it was kind of disrespectful to you, you know what I'm saying, to do that.
Mhm.
Even when we were upstairs, like um, in the back, like, and I was like, man, here it is, like, she's showing me, a good time, we chilling, she said that she was willing to talk about it, And when I do talk about it, it sounds like it's long and drawn out. So it wasn't fair to you to sit there and hear that. You feel me?
Right.
So I was like, that's why I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead and kick it and shit. And even like when we had lunch the other day, it was like I was kind of like just I think no, we had lunch the same day, right? That was the same day, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck it, man. Let's just go ahead and do it, and you know it's not really it's not really fair to you to hear all of that shit as a friend. Not too much of that shit, but yeah, it's just a building process. That's all. And you don't ever
I
want to
get
bring
it.
you don't ever want to bring past relationships into shit. So like that shit is not that shit is not fair. It's not. It's definitely not fair to you. So
No, I get it. Sometimes you just need a listening ear,
yeah, yeah, but as men, we kind of like go through it like sitting there crying on a woman's shoulder like that. That shit isn't
You
cool.
should.
Fuck that, crying on somebody's shoulder and shit. But nah,
Fuck that.
yeah, that's something that real men don't do. So I just try to balance everything out. So, and I think I think I did a good job, as far as like doing all of that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah, he like you all right, but you still worried about that girl. Yeah, I'm saying, like you know, yeah. That's usually how it is, man. When I guess when you around somebody, when you talk to somebody a lot.
When you coming out, it's women like that. When you coming out of something, that's why.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's all.
cool, you know. And but you've been real cool with the shit. You know what I'm saying? As
Oh
far as
yeah,
like
I'm a
hearing
cool
my
chick.
mouth, huh?
Yeah, I'm a cool chick.
Yeah, it's as far as hearing my mouth and all of that. And then
Hey, you said as far as in my mouth.
yeah, big time, big time. I thank you for that shit, for being an ear.
Yeah,
You know,
of course.
even with the whole jacuzzi, I was looking forward to that shit. I was like, God damn, I gotta take and get my motherfucking head clear and shit. Um,
Oh yeah, that'll be relaxing. The jacuzzi.
mhm,
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I
it's
mean,
definitely relaxing.
that'll be cool. Haven't done it in a minute, but it's like when you in a jacuzzi with somebody too, like that's some intimate shit. You know what I'm saying? And then here you are, you trying to take and show admiration, respect, and look for clarity into something else, and it's like, well, shit, what do you do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how I'm looking at it. Like, you know, in real life, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, and
Right.
then if I wasn't fucking with her, or if I just say if I wasn't, if I was still with her, then I wouldn't be, doing certain things. I wouldn't be, around you. I would just like be focused on her. But if that's not the case, then yeah, definitely I would have to take and move on to other women. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit up there and beat their eardrums up with this shit. You feel what I'm
You said
saying?
should it be what?
I'll say at the same time I can't just be around beating up y'all eardrums with this shit. Let me ask you this question. You listen?
Yeah.
All right. Hold up. Let me check something real quick. All right. Cool. All right. So, do women use other men, as a distraction?
Yeah, but they don't know that they're being used for a distraction. They don't know that they're being used for a distraction. So yes, they do. Yeah,
So, all right.
they don't know that.
So if a man just say, all right, if a man and his woman is going through some shit, right, and then next thing you know, theoretically, they kind of like separate or break up, or they have an argument, right, and the woman goes and seeks out interest in another dude, right.
Mhm.
All right, so when that happens, you know, she's using that dude as a distraction, right?
Mhm.
All right, now let me ask you something else about this distraction here.
Yeah.
Hello, you listening?
Yeah.
All right. So typically, what does a woman do with that distraction? Do they build upon that distraction?
You said build.
Yeah. Do they
No,
continue to build something off of that
no,
distraction?
not all the time. Because it could just be like a distraction for 20 minutes. Like you
Mm.
don't put that much thought into it if it's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something to retrace your brain, like redirect your brain for a second.
Mm.
It's
Gotcha.
not like, yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like, um, what was I gonna say?
Well, I find with men, we tend to find distractions in other things, whereas women tend to find distractions in other people.
To other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some truth to that.
Yeah. So, but and I never really wanted to do that shit. Like it just seems so disingenuous, just doesn't seem honest to do some shit like that. But I'll be a um men could gradually get into doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think I think that women do tap deeply into their emotions, but men too. Like they tend to dig deep into their brain and their mind, and then what it does is it hits their emotion. It goes down to their esophagus, and next thing you know, it's like then they'll tend to react. But yeah, man, but I didn't mean to rant like that. I did not mean to rant like that.
It's okay.
Sure.
I don't like I'm doing anything right now.
What you said?
I said it's not like I'm doing anything right now, so it's okay.
All good. All good. But yeah, you definitely gotta get your well, I mean, you don't have to do it and shit, but you know, I didn't know you had your I didn't know you had your YouTube page set up like that when you gave me your phone the other night, and I was going through the YouTube channels and shit, and I put your name in the chat, and I was like, damn, you really do you have your shit. I was like, what the fuck, but yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I did not know that shit. Yeah, that shit was pretty fly. You know,
I try. I try.
yeah, cause
Try
some
to
people like
fly.
they'll have that little fucking avatar that what they call it on this end, they call it trolls and shit, right? But yeah, like
Oh,
when I took your name and I put it in the chat in my homeboy's channel while he was live, I was like, damn, okay. But yeah, that was cool. I think you should start up a sports channel, just some kind of like self
I
sports
will,
channel.
but
I think
I
that
got
shit.
so much other.
Hmm?
I will, but I have so much other shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, this is something like some hobby type shit, to do, on your end, because you do
well, I want to
have
be a
a
sports reporter
lot.
for real. Like, I'm trying to get on ESPN, but
Oh yeah, you'll
you
get
know,
there. Did they send you that test again?
I I can't even. I didn't take it because I have so much other shit going on. I'd had like one of my friends from high school. He basically, I linked up with him when I came back in town or whatever, and this dude, whipped out his dick. I was looking the other way, and I turned back around, and boom. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing, nigga? Put that shit away. We are, like, really good friends. It will never be anything else. Don't be just... So I've had people whip out their dicks, like...
So he just whipped it out on you,
huh? Nigga just whipped that shit out. Like, I've been wanting to show you this. Like, I don't want to see that. What the fuck?
Right. So in my case, like when I sent the messages to you and shit, I mean, cause we know each other like that. You know what I'm saying? We met each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A couple times, shit like that, right? But
when you catch a vibe with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's like effortlessly, kind of like it just comes natural. But at the same time, I'm also like a really open-minded person, and I'm friendly, if I introduce you to one of my friends, right, the girl that's kind of been like not following through as a friend, she'll try to explain to you like, oh, Bree, you got too many friends, you just become friends with anybody. No, it's not like that. Like, everybody doesn't stay my friend. I can become friends with somebody, but a friendship works two ways. Like,
right.
I don't know how to explain it.
But yeah, like when I sent the messages to you as well, like it was like
I felt like I was coming anyway.
It was like some LOL, I see you when you get here type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like we'll talk about that when you get here.
I was like, damn, not realizing who the fuck the messages went out to. You know what I'm saying? That shit was wild. That shit was fucking. Alright, go ahead.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Hold on.
I was like, no,
huh? Hold on.
Alright. Man, let me see here. Alright, so let me see. Alrighty, so we shall.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear you. What, you in the whip?
Yeah.
Word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I finally realized who I sent that shit to, and I was looking at the messages, I was like, well, goddamn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, like I didn't go off.
Yeah, I was like, well, damn. But
some girls would have went off.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't. I was like, shit. So I want to apologize too for doing that again. I do. I really do. I apologize for sending that to you.
I accept your apology.
Because that was not sent, for you. And I felt kind of embarrassed for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
And I let her know that Yeah, man. Look, it was sent to the wrong person and shit. You know what I'm saying? And even with her, like she got a kick out of it too. Like she kind of laughed at it as well. But I guess just looking deep into the text message, she was like, "You never told her about me." You know what I'm saying? So,
She didn't understand the concept that it was a mistake. Like, you didn't send those to me on purpose. You sent them by accident. She's not understanding that.
And then the details in the text message too, because I was like, you know, you stay 9 hours away. I'm trying to come down there on the weekly. And all kind of details that was in there, which I mean, I
didn't even pay attention to all that. I didn't really. I was literally like serious about. I'm like, we'll talk when you get here.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like, damn, yeah. But I mean, it's all good. It's all good. You know, I just wanted to really know, like, based off of everything that happened, you know, what was I being genuous throughout the entire thing? You know, I just wanted to know if I was like, I just wanted to make sure that I was being open on every end. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like you were.
You know, so I think everything you know, kind of like it did itself. It worked its course out. You know?
Right.
But so you about to go ahead and get in the pool now, huh?
I'm gonna try. I mean, we'll see.
All right. Word. Yeah.
It's still kind of cool. It's like 78 degrees. You know, it's not like at the hottest it can be for the day yet. And that's the only time I can get in the pool is when it's like, I can't get in the pool when it's like windy and fucking 70-something degrees.
Right.
Like last night, I heard people, they were like, oh, there's no humidity. It smells great. I'm like, you guys are fucking crazy. I'm thinking to myself, like, y'all crazy. Because I need some type of humidity. I need some type of heat. I mean, I guess that's just because I'm a Florida baby.
Because you're a what?
I said because I'm a Florida baby.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I need that humidity too, based on that. But shit, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. You know,
What?
I said the pool. That definitely sounds like a good idea.
Well, yeah, because number one is Sunday. Number two, I feel like it's a good way to recover from the weekend if you had to do too much to drink. When I wasn't drinking like that this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, it helps me with my back when I actually swim and I'm in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then number four, like it's about to be fall. So.
Right. Hell yeah.
I hate that shit. Did you look at my Instagram story?
Did I do what?
Did you look at my Instagram story?
No, I know you told me about it a couple days ago. I'm gonna check it out right now. I'm gonna check it out today.
Okay.
Cause I remember you said like if I look at the Instagram story, you see, and I haven't been on IG in a minute, man. You know, it's been a few days, but
yeah.
You know, I'll go and check it out.
Okay.
All right. Well.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
That'll work. I'll talk to you later. You have a good day.
Okay, you too.
All right.
Bye.